270 people have been killed since July when a new round of fighting broke out in South Sudan. A peace deal was meant to bring together the warring factions of President Salva Kiir and his former Vice President Riek Machar, but it's fallen apart. Fidelis Mba reports.
Violence has forced these children out of their homes across South Sudan. But in this makeshift school, Rita John is one of dozens of teachers who are helping them continue their education.
I want to teach these kids so that they come. Some of them they come pilots, some of them they come doctors, then some of them even they will come a president so that they can lead us in South Sudan.
These children are among 36,000 people seeking shelter in United Nations compounds in the capital city, Juba. More than 60,000 have fled to neighboring Uganda, Sudan, and Kenya.
What happened in South Sudan has destroyed everyone's lives. Like us, we're here, but with our dead husbands. They weren't killed on the frontier, but by accident due to fighting. And these little battles kill people. I am a widow with children who stay with me. I can't fix their problems.
Food is increasingly becoming scarce across the country, according to the United Nations. And the number of children being treated for malnutrition has risen sharply. The African Union has announced plans to deploy troops to South Sudan. And that's something President Salva Kiir is not happy about.
There are over 12,000 foreign troops here in South Sudan. What do you need more forces? What will they come and do? The UNMISS here has so many foreign troops. So we will not accept even a single soldier. We will not accept that.
The UN is calling for an urgent resolution of the conflict.
The people of this country have suffered far too much. There is no military solution to this conflict. The fighting must stop and the atrocities must end immediately. I call on all armed actors to immediately silence the guns, end the culture of impunity, and allow civilians to live in peace.
Former Vice President Riek Machar has not been seen in public since July. President Salva Kiir has appointed a former chief opposition negotiator, Taban Dengai, as his new vice president, and fired 6 cabinet ministers loyal to Machar. Many people fear the peace agreement has broken down, and the rift between the two rivals is widening.
Well, for more on this, we can hear from the man who filed that report, Fidelis. He's with us on set. So, Fidelis, what's been done to deal with the humanitarian situation currently in South Sudan?
Well, the UN sort of is almost like helpless in this case because, the UN troops on ground are actually just an observatory mission, because they can use force. Mm-hmm. That's their mandate does not include the, like physical intervention. They're just to sit and watch. And then in terms of food aid, millions are in need of food aid, but some of the UN storehouses have been vandalized. They don't, the UN has been accusing government forces, even though government forces have denied this. But the people, fighters broke into their storehouses and took away the foodstuff. So many, as much as almost 4 million people now who are displaced. And even the UN compounds have come under attack. So the one in Juba that can take just a few thousands, you have almost about, every day there are more people coming in. And they can't even accommodate so many, which is why some have been trying to flee the country. About 70,000 now reportedly have fled to Uganda, some to DR Congo, some to Ethiopia, some to Tanzania. This is just since July, because thousands others have fled since 2013, and millions have been displaced by this fighting. So it's really a very delicate situation. People who actually need food to even survive. Apart from, running away from fighters. You run away from fighters, you can't even get food to eat. So people are starving to death. You see children in hospitals who can't even, because they are malnourished, they don't even have food enough to eat. And even their parents. So it's really a very dire situation.
Absolutely. And we heard in your report there, Salva Kiir saying he's not going to allow one soldier in. Now, is he welcoming humanitarian aid, though? Would he welcome like an uplift in the amount of UN foodstuffs that are coming into the country to help those people in the camps?
Well, it's not a case of whether he welcomes the the humanitarian effort, but then it's a case of the fighters allowing the UN access to these areas, because even if these UN officials are in town, some of them have been killed, some of them have been raped, So even if they are around, they don't even have the security to be able to distribute this. And then people are also running away from these places. And Juba, which is the capital city, is not even enough, doesn't even have the capacity in terms of humanitarian assistance to be able to take care of those who have fled to the capital.
And just quickly then, so what's going to be done to restore these peace talks? Where is Riek Machar, and can the two sides come back together?
Well, the meeting in Addis Ababa is meant to, resolve the issue of deployment of troops. The East African bloc is asking for the immediate deployment of troops, that's a combat troop, to be able to assist to protect civilians from attack. Because Riek Machar, the now former vice president, is insisting that he will not come back to Juba unless an African Union independent force is deployed to be able to maintain law and order. And he's saying if that doesn't happen, his fighters will have no choice than to come and attack the capital. And when that happens, it now results into a full-blown war.
Right. Well, difficult times ahead. Fidelis, for now, thank you.